A Pillars of Eternity playthrough as a party of rangers. So we have 6 rangers in this party, playing on the normal difficulty level, but with the iron mode, whatever it is, where you only get the single save. So if I screw up, I screw up. But I've already screwed up in that I named one of my bears incorrectly. All of my bears are called after bears, and their characters have the same name, but the bears have bear on the end of the name, and I forgot to do that with Grizzly. But that's alright. The rest... Oh, and Black. What do you know? I forgot to do it with Black Bear as well. But that's okay. So, we have created our party now. Very early in the game, but of course this is a huge advantage now because that we've got this party. We can, you got better survivability. Normally, you can pick up your first 2 characters here in Gilded Vale. Then you've got to go down to Magran's Crossing to get the 3rd party member, and then you go a very long time before you get your 4th party member. Normally speaking, so we're going to actually say to Aloth that we want him to travel with us. But we're going to put him in our roster and just leave him there. Just gets him out of the way. He'll now be in the inn, and then later on, once we get the castle, he'll be in the castle if we ever want him, and he can go on missions once we get the castle. All that type of stuff. So we've done our first rest in Gilded Vale, so we're going to come up here, and we should now be able to do our interaction with this. No, maybe we haven't rested yet. No, we haven't. Okay, back to the inn to rest, guys. I forgot to rest. I thought we'd rested already. So let's do that. Because once we do that first rest here in Gilded Vale, we'll be able to, as a watcher, be able to talk to the dead.
Good day to you.
I'd like a room. Of course, we keep them neat and tidy. No, I'm gonna just do that initially. And we'll skip through this. Okay, so now we'll come back out. Didn't want to spend the money because I do want to keep as much money as I can to buy weapons, the backup weapons for my characters, etc. No sense wasting money if I don't need to. And early on in the game, you have so little money to spare that it's not worth it. Okay, so let's get this interaction out of the way. So this is just where you get all the explanation about what a Watcher is. You get a bit of information about animancy, and start to get a feel for what's going on in the area. And we're done. And we get our Crucible of the Soul ability, and we get a level, so let's level up. I really wish there was a key combination, like if I went to a character screen, I wish from in here I could level up, but the only way to level up is to click that tiny little thing right there, and that's annoying. Bugs the hell out of me. But anyway, so I'm not going to put any more points into survival, because I've got enough points in survival already to get that. 2 is enough. Sure, I can get the accuracy against certain types of creatures, but I don't worry about any of that when I rest. And a lot of the time I'm resting in inns where I get different abilities, so they don't help. No more mechanic. Don't need any mechanics on this character. I've got another character that's going to be doing that. Law is the main thing I want, and enough athletics that I can recover a good amount of endurance. So I'm probably going to primarily level up these two. And at the moment I've got enough to get one more in each of them, so that's what I'm going to do. Okay, I'm sure there is a big debate online about which of Swift Aim and Vicious Aim are better. Swift Aim has one advantage. So Swift Aim, if we see here, it gives you extra 20% attack speed, extra 50% reload speed, but -7 accuracy. So you're less accurate, but you can fire more often. Vicious Aim, fire less often, -20% range speed, -20% reload speed, but more accurate and more damage. The only good thing about Swift Aim is that you can later on get another talent which makes Swift Aim the accuracy penalty only be -2. So you get a +5 basically bonus to Swift Aim's accuracy. You can't, from what I can see, have both Swift Aim and Vicious Aim running at the same time. So you've got to pick one. I tend to find Vicious Aim better than Swift. So that's what I'm going for. So we've got that, and we'll come back here and talk to Adair.
17 and a half.
Yeah, this is actually quite
could be
funny.
18, depending on how you count the dwarf woman.
So Adair is a bit of the comic relief, but I'm not going to go through this text. I'm going to just skip through it all because...
The dwarf woman. The people... Name's Adair. The people... I was smoking over... Careful, friend.
So
of course,
try and
the
get
town's
through
had
all
it in...
of this as quickly as possible.
Boom.
But it basically gives you some backstory about the whole... the war that was on previously. I can't think of the name of it. But basically they blew up a god, or at least the god's avatar. And everyone thinks that's what caused the Hollowborn.
Pick the wrong god. That's what... Then one day, somebody named Widewind shows up on Deerwood's doorstep.
Yeah, so Widewind.
Says he's the living flesh. After the war, people... Seems that's no longer a concern.
And so I'm going to say that he
You
could
remember
with me.
Man, not sure how... All right, then.
And like I did with Aloth, I'm going to keep him in my roster. So I'm just going to go accept. He's now in my roster, saved up. Now there's a couple of other things we need to do here. There's a couple of really quick... We've talked to the blacksmith and got his quest. We've talked to the barmaid and got her quest. There is a quest around the people in this house. There's a quest around the woman in this house. And there's a quest over here. Now we can do this quest here really quickly. So we're going to do that first. These guys, we've got to go back to... we've got to go back to Valewood. And then we'll come back and talk to these guys. Because the guy that we talked to in Valewood outside the tent, he is now in here. But we need to go and find the body of his buddy first. So we're going to do this quest. We're going to get this quest. And then we're going to come back, and then there's a dungeon here that we're going to do as well before we head down here to Magran's Fork and start exploring the rest of this world. So that is the current plan. So let's just head over to here. Whoops, the whole party. We're going to actually get stopped along the way, but that's fine. People are threatening the miller, and so we're going to resolve that little issue, and it's incredibly easy to resolve, so we're going to get that out of the way. He's just threatening us with a crossbow. We're going to be diplomatic and say we want to help. See what I can do. And we'll go and find this guy who's in the bar. back in the inn, whatever you want to call it. So we'll quickly nip back here, and I'll just put on fast mode so we get there quicker. Right, so look, there is our two companions that we don't have yet. The priest Durance appears over here somewhere later. Once we get him, we need to talk to these guys here, so we're just going to come in and do that.
Hello!
So we're going to buy him a drink. We could have threatened him and stuff like that, but it's easier just to
Hail, traveler.
do this. Now I can convince them sometimes, but I'd rather just pay the 6 gold. It's 6 copper. It's no big deal. So
Hail,
this
traveler.
guy again. I bought you your drinks. Be diplomatic, and he says he's going to leave them alone. So we can then just come back out, go back to the mill, and it's a nice, quick little quest that gives us a little bit of experience. See, before we go back to the mill, because we're so close, let's go and talk to, where is she? Over here. Right there. Okay. So this is Kaliska's sister.
Hail and well met.
Tell her everyone was killed, you be benevolent and say that you'll help out. She's about to give birth, or not straight away, but she's with child, and wants you to go and find this old witch woman for her, who midwife, who supposedly knows a way to prevent hollow-born children, which in fact she doesn't. But that's okay. So we know we have to go and talk to her. She's yeah, it'll be a little while before we get to her, but it won't be too long. So, over to the miller we go. I actually find this little interaction here a little bit strange, because I sort of thought
Good
there'd be
day,
more
stranger.
options. You really only got to say, I've spoken with the guy or not yet, or leave, and then you've convinced him, or leave. I mean, anyway. You convince him, and then if you want to be benevolent, you can tell him to keep his money, which gives you a moderate positive reputation. So how is our reputation going? Let's have a quick look. And see, we are benevolent and diplomatic. So I'm just going to keep using those sorts of good interactions with people, and hopefully that will increase and I will get some benefits from it. Okay, we have done everything that we're going to do in this. Oh, actually, we want to go here, and I think there might be a couple of things I can sell up. Well, no, I need to give you that dagger. Yeah, I can sell that armor. Oh, hang on. I was going to give you that, wasn't I? And as soon as I get a suit of leather, I'll swap that out for you. And yeah, there's a couple of books and stuff I can sell. So let's just come back here and do all of that. There we go. So now that we have a full party, the first few areas that we go to are actually going to be pretty damn easy, because we don't have to worry too much.
Good day, stranger.
Most of the opponents you come across are designed for a party of about 3 to 4, not 6. So let's sell all of those. And sell those. Now what we're going to buy is a grappling hook. And can I afford, yes I think I can, to buy a saber. Because sabers are good. I'm going to take the saber for myself. They do 20% extra damage. Which actually isn't as good as the damage reduction done by the mace. But we'll go with it. So every shield we find now, or medium shield anyway, we will give them to these three guys. Anytime we find good shields, we're going to keep them. And then any good single-handed weapons. Basically, sabers and maces are the main weapons I want to keep because of their extra value, extra things that they do. Extra crit damage multiplying is good, so that adds extra 50% crit damage, but I don't expect to be critting that often with these weapons, so the damage reduction done by mace, the damage reduction bypass is probably a better way to do it, that this weapon, the maces do make them better. Also, does this guy have any?
Welcome.
Let's see. Like, stilettos have the same thing. They have a DR bypass. It's only 3 rather than the 5 that the maces have, I think. Morning Stars have it as well. No, they don't. Stop that. I didn't mean to do that. Yeah, so the maces maces only have 3 as well. What else was it that I was thinking of? No, it was flails, and I don't think he's got any. No, he doesn't. That's fine. And none of these, I don't want any of these small shields, even though they do 8 deflection and they don't do any accuracy. If I can get fine small shields, I'll take them. Otherwise, I want medium shields, and I'm not paying $1,500 for this buckler, even though it does add +5 to defense to all people within, all friendly guys within 3 meters, which is actually, it's not a bad thing, but it's a lot to pay for. Once I've got some more money, I'll consider it, but right now, yeah. Okay, so let's head back to that, what is that name? Wherever it is, we're going back up here to the north. Just noticed the rain sound doesn't work all that well in fast mode. Okay, so we're back to Valewood we go. And let's clear this area out. As I said, this should be fairly easy. Because we have a full party now, none of this stuff is going to be all that hard. Doesn't mean we're going to be silly about how we do things, though. See if we can sneak up on these wolves. Show them what it's like to tangle with bears. Well, that was easy. Who did that? Grizzly. Critted. Dire hit. Sun hit. Sun. Oh, so we hit with a crossbow, then we hit with the warbow, and then we critted with a warbow. And that was enough to kill it. Only problem with this is that sometimes those companions, particularly when they're in stealth mode, don't path well around themselves. But that's alright. We're not these early fights are easy fights, so we don't worry that we haven't got everyone attacking properly. So we're gonna do stealth here because we got this little hidden spot right here that we want to try and uncover. Please tell me, yep, good. There we go. We can uncover that. Ooh, Cape of Deflection. So there we go. That is going to the main character. He is getting as much deflection as we can get, and we're also, of course, going to bump up the deflection of all the others as well. So we bought the grappling hook purely so that we could go up here and do this. So let's climb to the top. If you don't have the funds to do that, then come and clear this area first. Go back, sell up all your stuff, then come back and loot this spot. We come up here purely because we want these gloves of dexterity. Damn it, I forgot to switch to storing all that in my stash. So, gloves of dexterity. Oh, and look at that, leather armor for you. There you go, and let's come back down. And we're done. We don't need to sneak anymore. Well, we could sneak around to this next spot, but I'm not going to bother with it. As I said, going fairly fast with most of this early stuff because I've done it all before. So, these guys are all pretty easy. None of them have got shields. The archer there's only one of them, so he's not that bad. We're going to just all focus on one target to begin with, because that means we'll take these guys out pretty quickly. Expect that guy to die pretty well there, which is what happened. You know, the bears are doing a good job by themselves against this guy, but you know, the archers are reloading as quickly as they can, and we're done. Take on our ranged bandit back there, and there we go. Chunks of bandit flying everywhere. Some more daggers. Food and stuff that we can use for crafting. Stiletto.
Hello!
And the dwarven friend that we promised to rescue, the chef. So we're going to go back and see him at the inn in a little while. Once we finish clearing this area, that finishes that quest, and we get a bit more of a reward for that. Damn it. So what we need to do, we will use this shield, because we do want these guys to have shields at some point. These guys that don't have shields, we're going to give dual weapons for now. And we don't want to swap out any of that armour, although just having some slightly different looking leather on some of it is a good idea, just for a bit of variety. Okie dokie. I always found that strange that there's a body lying there but you can't search it for anything. Even if you searched it and found nothing, I would think that would make a bit more sense. So there's a wolf down here. Quite frankly, yeah, I expected that. We basically killed it before any of the bears even got a chance to take a swipe. Oh good, that did go to the stash. And let's pick that up. Okay. So, there is this little lizard man camp thingy, whatever these things are called. They're basically this game's equivalent of kobolds, really. Zurips. Something like that. I don't know how you pronounce it. But these guys are going to be easy. There's 3 of them, but... I mean, it would have been a hard fight, just myself and the bear, but I think we would have been able to get through those 3 normally anyway. But I just prefer to get over into the town, the village, as quickly as possible, so I can get my party together as quickly as possible. And there we are, we've got all the shields we would ever want now. So let's swap that out for a real shield. And you can have a shield. What are these spears like? Actually, they're pretty accurate. So let's give you a spear and a shield to both of these guys. They'll just be a little... Well, I think they'll be a little better. Let's see. Let's compare the dagger. Yeah, they're a little bit better than the dagger. But, of course, slower. Because they're average speed. Better interrupt. So, yeah. I'm going to switch you back. As I said, we're going to go for better weapons once we get the chance. Let's switch to searching mode and let's do a 360 like that. So our guys are at the back. And someone's going to hopefully... No? Oh, please tell me that someone can discover that. Sometimes you've got to go up levels to... There's a hidden thing in that doorway. I might go and do the next little bit down here and then see if we can discover it after that. I mean, my character's higher level than any of them. He should be able to find it. Sometimes there's things that they just won't let you find. If you all fail your roll, that's it. Tough luck. You don't get to find it. Now it's bear on bear time. Easier level, that becomes a young bear rather than the full-on aged bear that one is. And what we're going to do is set up the hotkey first of all on all of these guys. Shot, look at that. 6 wounding shots, all just doing damage over time. Bang, bear's dead. And all of my guys got their levels. So, we've got to remember this is our thief guy, so we're going to max out mechanical on that. And we're also going to give them vicious companion like everybody else. These guys, we've got 2 in stealth, that's enough. We've got 3 in survival, that's more than enough. Everyone else from now on, it's just athletics and lore. Actually, lore doesn't even matter for these guys. Oh no, it does, because the higher lore they can start using scrolls. And vicious companion. So... companion, and we're done. Okay. Okay. Get a bear hide from him. Now there is a hidden thing that's either here or here, I can't remember where it is. So we're hoping that we can get someone to discover that. There we go, there it is. That's not what it's saying. Let's go and open this up. So the only would consider giving my guys, melee weapons that is the Estiok, how you pronounce it. It's a two-handed sword that's designed for thrusting, piercing, rather than slashing. And it also has the damage reduction. So it basically bypasses armor. So this is the guy that was killed by the bear, and he wants revenge because it was actually not the bear that killed him, it was his friend. And we say we'll help him, but once we go and talk to the friend, it turns out this guy was a bit of an arsehole, excuse my French, and his wife and his best friend are leaving Gilded Vale together, and we let them go because we're being benevolent. Okay, so we said we were going to go back to here. That bug where the map doesn't change for me for some unknown reason. Let's see if we can get our guys to find that hidden. There we go, and we've done it. It was just a bunch of gems. I said in the last video, the last stream, that I really need to look at something that writing down the list of reagents that I really need for some of the things that I want to do, some of the enchantments, etc. And for everything else, just going, I don't need these reagents, sell them, get rid of them, because they are a nuisance. There are so many of them, and I really wonder how many of them I'm ever really going to use. It's not like some games where there's a weight limit, thankfully, so you can carry as much stuff as you want in your stash. And there's no penalties, but it's just a pain. It's all sitting there, and some of the gems and stuff are actually worth a fair bit. And if you were willing to just sell it all and walk around not using any of that for enchantments and stuff on my equipment, let's just sell it. So yeah, it's a little weird, but that's how it is. So we can talk to these guys now. Oh, still having that bug where it's not going properly. Let's fast mode it over, and there goes a problem with the sound going out again in fast mode. So let's talk to them.
Hello.
Know what really happened. Had a vision. Benevolent, keep the money, use it to start a new life. And they give me a ring of deflection, which, hey, we all know where that's going. So my deflection is now up to 40. All my other guys are 32, I think, yeah. They're a level behind me, of course. You can hover over this and see all of the things. So there's a base of 20. I have 6 extra deflection because of my levels, 26, plus another 9 from my resolve, 35, plus 5 from my cape of deflection, 40. Why have I not got... Does it not stack? Wow, it doesn't seem to stack. So if I give it to this person... Oh man, I always thought it stacked, but it doesn't. Well, there you go, that was worthless. The extra bonus from the shield, does that add up? 26, 35, 45, 40. No, that doesn't make sense. That doesn't add up either. I've noticed that sometimes these values don't make sense. They're higher or lower than they really should be. 20, 26, 35, 40, 52. Oh no, that does add up. 52. Silly me. Yeah, math was never my strong suit. Okay. So we've got good reflex thanks to our dexterity and perception bonuses. Our will is low because of our low intellect, but that is balanced out by our resolve. To a degree. And our damage reduction is currently 6 thanks to our armor. Okay. Rightio. This bug didn't get out in time. That's fine. That, and let's have a look at that. And let's turn that off. And there we go. And we got all those supplies. So that's the other thing. If you don't have the money to buy the grappling hook initially, you can do that first part of the adventure, do the bear thing, come back here, talk to them, and you get a grappling hook from these guys if you can find that secret in their room. And then you can go back and do it, and it doesn't cost you a cent, but I like to get it done quickly, so... So we have done everything we can in this village above ground in Gilded Vale. There is the temple next, so we're going to sell up here. We're going to do the temple, which gives us a nice little bit of experience.
Welcome.
I'd like to see your wares, please, and let's see what we can sell. Yes, I'm happy selling all of that for now. And all of that. And those. Now, we don't want that. Probably shouldn't sell that, but I'm going to. And then we can sell those wolf hides. Get rid of that because we don't want it. Sell the bear hide. Don't want that. Don't want that. Keep that. The only other thing I could take, which they recommend you keep one of them on you at all times, is a pry bar, but there's actually not many places that you need it. And I know we find one eventually before we need it, so as long as I don't sell it, that is fine. And some of this stuff, like, you know, Zverp tongues, 14. Bloodstones, 25 each. You can make some good money by selling some of this stuff if you don't use it. So let's trade all of that. Let's have a quick look here. So I probably can't actually do any decent enchantments yet. Because I need to be level 4 to be able to do like fine on anything, and it's not worth doing anything on the weapons. It's not worth doing anything less than fine. Pilgrim's Crown, Adra, and Ooze, exceptional. And I really never thought that many of these were that useful either. But I guess if you can, you know, if you want to bump up your resolve, that's extra defense, extra damage reduction, extra deflection. So, you know, if you can find the reagents to do it, it's probably not that bad. And then weapons. Again, I've not found that any of these slaying ones are all that great. It increases damage by a particular type, but I like these, the burning, corrosive, freezing, and shock lashes. I think they're good when you can find the reagents that you need to do them. I don't think it's worthwhile doing any of these accurate ones because that one gives you accuracy of +4, and damaging gives you damage plus 15%. But that's exactly what fine does, and I think you're better off just taking fine, because if you put accurate on and later on you put fine, it doesn't make it a fine accurate. The fine overwrites the accurate. So you can only have one of each one of these three things on it at any point in time. And then these number of points, 6, sort of indicate how much. So if I put superb on this bow, at the most I'd be able to do kith slaying and then one of these, because that would be the total of 12. But some of them have less points spare that you can then put things on, so you have to pick which of these things you want to do, I guess. So I'm not really in a position to sell up any of that stuff yet, so we're not going to worry about that. Let's head back out, go to the inn and talk to them and finish off that quest there and get our reward for rescuing the dwarven cook, who actually isn't all that great a cook from what I can see. Fast mode, there we go. And even though we don't need to, we're going to rest up, because we can afford to spend some money in here and rest. So we're going to rest up after we talk to the cook and the barmaid. That'll give us our bonus, and then we're going to head down into the ruined temple.
Welcome.
So we're getting a moderate positive there. Just saying anything here so that I can get my bonus. Not going to buy anything yet. I want to go and talk to this guy first, and then rest. So he gives us a recipe for savoury pie, which we can now, in crafting under food, we can now do the savoury pie. It's okay, +1 might, +1 perception for 150 seconds, but I prefer, there's, dexterity and perception, that might be a little bit better, because at least the dexterity increases our reaction speed. Constitution increases our health. Might increases our damage. So I prefer this one over this one, but in reality I'd like something that had the 300 seconds rather than the 150. But for now, we only have one lot of meat. So we're going to make a stew with that. And we can make this, so we will. And we're going to put that on our bar for this guy, and then this one we're going to give to Polar. Don't know why, just spreading them out a little bit. Do we have any potions? We just had the one minor regen potion. Give that to you, and then you can have ale. All of this stuff basically just does like damage reduction for a certain amount of time, 150 or 300 seconds. It sounds a bit silly, and that's got spirits of constitution, but you're basically getting drunk before you go into battle, So yeah, so let's talk to this one.
Greetings.
Get a room. Now, +2 resolve, that means 2 extra deflection. +1 mechanics and +1 perception, that means 1 extra accuracy. I'd rather do the defense than the attack, so we're going to take that. It's a few copper more, but who cares? So we've now all got this little thing, and we all get +2 resolve until we can camp once and still have it, but it lasts for 2 sleeps, or until we come here, sleep and pick something else, basically. I don't expect to have to sleep while I'm down in this temple, this dungeon. Should be able to go through that without having to do anything, but we'll see how we go. You never know. So, we're going to do this because there's a hidden item over here we want to pick up. So let's switch to stealth mode. Little bear's waddling along. Almost wiggling, really, isn't it? And there we go, someone's found that. So there's just potions and some scrolls and gems and stuff in there. I don't think I really like that potion, do I? Yeah, Spirit Shield. Oh, actually no, it doesn't last very long, but it's actually not bad. So let's give it to someone. You don't have anything, so you can have that. use that? Let's have a look. Yep, you can. Normally, the requires 2 law would be red. For example, if they couldn't use it. So if I put it in here, requires 2 law. She doesn't have 2 law, so she can't use that. So everyone now has potions of some sort. I'll just chuck that in there. Got to get used to using those a little bit more because they won't use them themselves. Even with the AI turned on, they won't automatically use them, which I think is a bit silly. A lot of other games you can do that sort of thing, and the characters will use those sorts of things. The only problem is they'll use them up way faster than you would like, but that's fine. So here's a guy who wants you to retrieve the dead bodies of the priests in here, and he was basically responsible for them being here. But you don't find that out yet. You find that out from all the ghosts in here. So let's go through this the quick way. Dun, 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 dun. So there's a couple of spiders, 1 or 2 spiders in here, just the one. Done. These. Can't take the camping supplies, always a pain in the butt. Okay, there's a couple of spiders, a few spiders actually in here. So with this many guys in our party, all shooting at once, taking on a group of spiders like this is easy. But if there was just the 2 or 3 of you, this would be a much harder fight. So there we go, all done. I don't know, there have been times when I've thought there was something else hidden in this room, but I can't seem to find it again. So maybe there isn't anything else hidden in here. It's just my imagination. There is a secret over here which we're not going to use because it opens this wall, and I don't want to do that yet. And really, I don't need to shortcut that at all, so I'm not going to worry about it. So let's come over here to this room. Just going to work our way around an anti-clockwise direction basically now. So we've got some wisps in here. Slow down. There we go. While the wisps can do a bit of damage to the bears, they're not lasting all that long, so... no, I meant to do that. Oh, someone's not in here. Right, so spiders in this room, if I remember rightly. There we go. And done. Very, very easy. Okay, there's a secret hidden up here, although we don't need to sneak yet, really, because we get this little cutscene first. Doesn't matter what we say to them, they don't actually talk back, you just see stuff happening. Oh, told about stuff happening.
Look there!
Okay, so that's that. That's all the hidden stuff in here, although that door will open eventually when we've finished on the lower level. Some scolder whelps in here. Scolders and scolder whelps. Okay, so we are going to use our... Oh, I forgot to turn on my modal for my swift, my vicious aim. 3, 4, 5, and 6. And dead. Let's not forget there's another one up there. And that little tinkling noise you heard was because we have found out everything we need to know about scolder whelps now that we've killed. We've had 216 experience points earned while killing them. So I'll actually show you that in the bestiary in a sec. And we got the same for the whelps. Sorry, the scolder.
Got him!
And there we go. So if we go to the Cyclopedia, under Scolder, we now have the Scolder, which is a level 3, which has 74 endurance and 38 accuracy, and it has 31 deflection. And then the Scolder Whelps are level 1, and they have 32 accuracy and 25 deflection. Do they both have the stunning scream? No. So the Scolders don't have any of that. It's only the Whelps that do the scream. There you go. Oh, and there's this one in this room here. I keep forgetting that he comes in sometimes. And there we go. Another one bites the dust. Let's pick up all of this. The only real secret in here is in this next room, but I like to sneak through this. So we've now got a fine sword, so we're going to give that to somebody. You've got a normal sword, you've got a spear, so I'm going to give you that fine sword instead. Hopefully. May you never need to use it. Okay, so hopefully we can detect the hidden in here. Come on. Damn it. There's a hidden thing right here. Doesn't really matter. The main thing it's got in it is the key for this little thing here, which you don't need. You can get around it. You've got to read all the books in this area, though, to make sense of it. Really wish we could discover it. I thought you had to use your perception to find it, but I mean, I've got the highest perception you can get. I maxed my perception out, and I still can't find it sometimes. It's so annoying.
A blade in the dark.
How sinister. Okay, so this is trapped. I'm going to briefly give this pendant to somebody. Let's have a look. So this basically just increases your endurance. More health, if you want to think of it that way. But eventually, if I've got something which is protection rather than health, I'll use that instead. If few scalders in here, but it's actually not all that hard. As you can see, we just took that one out by himself. The good thing is these guys have no armor, basically, no damage reduction. So you attack them and all of the damage that you do is applied. Which, you know, is pretty nice. So that spirit is really, again, just telling you some of the stuff that happened here when these guys were all killed. I've always felt like there should be another secret hidden in here somewhere. But there doesn't seem to be. There's just this one pot here with stuff in it. But it feels like there should be like a loose flagstone around here or something with stuff hidden in it. But I guess I just expect it to be around more often than it is. Okay, so we didn't get the key for this, so it's time to get through this. Right, middle, left, right. Oh, spoiler alert. Okay. Lower level. Now we're getting into the shadows. If you actually read the lore behind a lot of this, it's very interesting. Everything in this game is very much soul-based, so you know, the Hollowborn are children that are born without a soul. The Animancers are mages who do use magic that affects the soul, a bit like a necromancer is a mage that does with the dead, but the Animancers are sort of the necromancers of this world, but not always. It's like if you could have good necromancers as well, they would sort of be in this lot. I suppose you can have good necromancers, but so those shadows, for example, are a type of undead. If we have a look in the encyclopedia under shadow, they're created when creatures with heavily fractured souls die without re-entering the cycle of rebirth. Because the souls are damaged, they drain essence from other creatures in a futile attempt to repair themselves. The more essence they steal, the more powerful and dangerous shadows become. As they devour essence, they pick up pieces of corporeal matter, giving them a visible, if indistinct, form. Luckily, shadows can only draw a small bit of spiritual energy from souls still attached to a body or bound to an object. They mainly rely on creatures like the Pigwa, who can drain souls out of their physical form to help them attain the essence they crave. Shadows have been known to draw spiritual energy from people while they sleep, when their souls are not bound as strongly to their bodies. The result in horrible nightmares that leave the person in an exhausted state the next day, and if an entire town suddenly begins to suffer nightmares, it's highly probable that a strong shadow has taken up residence there. Some shadows absorb spiritual energy. They appear invisible to creatures that rely on spiritual sight. This has led to experiments in binding shadows to armor or others to act as a cloak to obscure those who do not wish to be seen by such creatures. So, yeah, you know, things like golems are created by taking a soul and putting it into armor or into some other, you know, into a statue or something like that. Ghosts and stuff like that are just souls that haven't moved on. So yes, it's interesting from that point. Basically, I'm going to let these shadows come to us rather than charging in, because you all get stuck in the doorway. This bear, which bear is this? This is a dire bear, so that's my main character's bear. He's liable to be knocked out in this because he's doing a 2-on-1 and no one else can help him. The big advantage of having a full party of rangers is that you've got 6 animal companions and they can get around your opponent and flank them. So 1 or 2 of them will be directly in front of the opponent, and they are the ones that are engaged by the opponent. Any others that get around the sides and behind, they are flanking and they get bonuses to attack. I'll show you that in the battle in a minute. And so that's why you always, in this situation, as much as possible, you really want to get all of your animal companions attacking the one creature at the same time if they can, because that gives them huge bonuses. So let's just search here so we can find that trap. And I've disarmed that trap. And a ring of protection, which, you know, they're okay. But I really would prefer to be able to use another ring of deflection on this guy. But it looks like you can't because I've already got the cape of deflection. So I've got a ring of protection here. This does my fortitude, reflex and will saves increase. So these other 3 rather than this one. And there's another chest right here.
It's no trouble.
Which is locked, but it's not trapped.
There you go.
Thankfully. And this is the weapon I was talking about that we're going to give. I don't know. It's a good weapon, the S-Stock, because it has 5 damage reduction bypass. So the first 5 points of damage of this are ignored by armor. Or, in other words, armor, so, you know, this armor here has a DR of 6. If you're being attacked by someone wielding an S-Stock, it essentially only has a DR of 1, so it only removes 1 point of damage. That is powerful, and it's probably worthwhile me having a couple of my guys. So I'm probably going to end up having these 2 guys wielding any S-Stocks I find, so that they're not as defended as everybody else, but then if possible everyone else is going to have sword and shield, or melee weapon and shield, so that they've got better defenses. And we want those weapons to be as good as they can be, but ultimately defense is our main goal here, not attack. Because let's face it, if we get to a point where we are doing melee attacks, then we're in trouble. Didn't get the chance to show you that shadow being flanked there. Okay. That's all right. So down in this room, now there's a bunch of shadows in here, but we're going to sneak in as much as we can, because it's one of these situations where we can't really get too many of them to come out to us. And if we tried to charge in too quickly to attack these guys, we'd all get stuck in the doorway. So you either want to be on one side or the other when you attack. Again, we're going to do this where as many of us as possible are attacking one opponent. So let's look at this guy. It's near death. We're probably going to end up killing it before we get a chance to see that he's flanked. Yes, we did. Let's everyone attack this guy. Okay, we're getting... These guys can teleport a little bit, so we are getting attacked. See, there we go, flanked. I think that reduces their defense. Okay. We're going to switch some of these guys to using their melee weapons, so that they can take on these guys, while the rest of us... Okay, so she took a pretty good hit there. She's now been dazed by that. But let's have a look. Interrupt a grizzly for 19 freeze. So, yeah, see, they still have, these shadows have a higher attack, higher accuracy, 59 to our 46 defense. So, we're doing the best we can. It certainly is. It's certainly stopping us from being critted, that's for sure. So we managed to take out that one. So let's switch these guys here back to their bows. And this guy is flanked, which is good. So she's been knocked out. That's alright. So his damage, his deflection was 44. If I go back into the Cyclopedia, it's normally 47. So the flanking didn't do a huge reduction, but every little bit helps. So let's, how are we doing? Yeah, okay. So these guys have been hurt a little bit. I suppose I could explain how that health thing works. So the green bar is your health, right? And when you fight in battle, you get a big red covering over your entire portrait. So we look at our main character. I have 300 health, but only 60 endurance. What it really means is, if you think of it in the terms of D&D, 60 is your actual health. As soon as you do 60 points of damage, you'll pass out. You'll be unconscious. The 300, every point of damage that you get done to your endurance also gets applied to your overall health. At the end of the battle, you will wake up and you'll go back to 60 endurance. And then in the next battle, so that means your health will be at 240, for example. Then in the next battle, if you take another 60 points of damage to your endurance, your health will drop by another 60 points to 180. And so that basically means that on this sort of level, I could get knocked out completely in battle 5 times before I die. Once my health reaches 0, I will die. Alright? And so that's just, yeah, that's how that mechanic works. So if we look at this one here who was injured, she took 49, 49 points of damage in that last battle. And so her health is that. If she gets injured fully injured like that a couple more times, then she is going to not be able to recover, and she will die in that battle. It's sort of like that in Pillars of Eternity 2, but it's not quite the same. There's a slight tweak to it. Instead of having health, you have they now renamed endurance to health, so that's the 60 that we talked about a second ago rather than 300, and everyone just has a flat thing of, if you get knocked out 3 times, the 3rd time you will die. So you get knocked out twice before you rest, before you camp or sleep in an inn or whatever. Which I think is a little bit easier to manage, because a lot of people found this very confusing to understand, because everyone's used to health in these games, not endurance. And, you find in this game that, you can get knocked out multiple times, but you're not dead yet. My health and endurance go down at the same time. That doesn't make sense. How does that work? Okay, I'm orienting my party facing this way, because as soon as I finish opening up this, a ghost will appear there, or a spirit. I never use this will +9. Yeah, I'll probably give it to one of my guys. And yeah, a phantom. We're going to see what the phantom's all about in a minute. I will give that cape to somebody, but we may end up replacing it with like a cape of deflection or something like that if we find something better later. So I meant to... I can't... Oh, it won't let me put that stuff away because we're still in combat. Wait to get out of combat. There we go. And we're out of combat. There we go. So... Nobody... Yeah, everyone's got leather armor like we wanted. That's good. Give you that of will. Ooh, we've got... I don't really like these potions of regeneration. I don't really think they do very much. But we'll take them. How much lore? I'm going to start using... Do you have enough lore to use that? I didn't think you did. No, you don't. I'm going to try and start using these scrolls a little bit more. Not that there's really all that many hard battles in this dungeon, really. That require it. In fact, this is pretty wimpy. For this party, anyway, as I said, it's not quite so wimpy when you've only got, 2 or 3 characters in your party, but when you're fully stocked like this... Oh, there was the other one. I forgot. Another shadow up there. And we didn't look in the bestiary to see anything about the phantom that it was. Come on, guys. Don't just sit there. Flank him. There we go. No, I wanted... Yes, there we go. Is there a hotkey for that journal, J? Yes, but there's not really one for the encyclopedia. It just brings you to the whole lot of it, I think. Phantom. We've defeated one of them. They're a level 3 spirit. They're very vulnerable to being burnt, by the looks of it. As are... shadows. But they're not vulnerable to freezing or shock. They're actually better protected. Okay. Let's stop. Let's let these guys come to us, I think. If they're going to. Maybe we'll see if we can sneak in. Yes, that's better. Too late. Already in combat mode. Sneak. No. It's the one thing I hate about these shadows. That's another phantom, isn't it? Okay, let's switch to our weapons, guys. Yeah. You can stay with your bow. You can stay with your bow. Where is everybody? Yeah, you've got your weapon out. You got your weapon out. You can stay with your bow. You've got your weapon out. And you can stay with your bow. Such a shame you guys are the weapons are the crossbowmen, but that's fine. You don't have second wind. Take that. Damn it. Too late. Or was it? No, it wasn't too late.
Damn, missed.
Yep, it was too late. It's very prophetic. Where are you? go back to your bow. What about you? You've still got your bow. And you're passed out as well, aren't you? No, not yet. And you are... where? All the way over there. Oh, you already got your bow. Yeah, stay with that. Right. Let's make sure everyone's using the weapons we want them to be using. Good. And everyone is back up and recovered.
Not a problem.
Okay, so there's a hidden secret thingy over here on the wall I want to find.
Look there!
Just some gems and stuff. I always feel like there should be more stuff along here somewhere because you've got all these bricks that are sort of sticking out and stuff. But it's just sloppy masons, basically. For some reason I always do this room first and then come back and do that one. So we'll do that now.
Steady does it.
These guys don't have their modals yet, do they? No. Next level for them. How far away from a level are they? Oh yeah, a little while. So once again, we want to creep in here as much as we can, because there's a big bunch of shadows in here. Oh, I didn't undo. Okay, you're gonna go melee weapon. You're gonna go melee weapon. Who else we got? Where are you? Right there. You're already on melee weapon. I missed you before. Where are you? Up there. You're going melee weapon. What about you? No, you can stay with the bow, and you can stay with the bow. So the problem here is that we're not all attacking the same time. Very good. Spirit Surge was what I needed there. Ah! Sorry about that. Let's get this. There we go. One shadow down. What else? Which other ones are... injured? No, so let's take this one next because it's going to be injured. There we go. So when you're concentrating on just one opponent, it goes a lot quicker. At least with the party of ranges it does. Sorry about that, my dogs are barking. I'll be right back. Oops, left the webcam up. Okay, sorry about that, people. We are back. Let's make sure that all of our guys are set back up properly to use their bows. Yep, good. Let's clear out this room. Next room is this one here. We're going to sneak mode, so we've got a couple of shadows, 3 or 4 shadows in here that we have to take on. Three. Okay. I think once again I'm going to let these guys come to me a little bit. Maybe not. Why did that one not charge in? I wonder if one of my guys doesn't have a right setting in here. Aggressive. 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 Look at that. There we go. One of my guys has just been standing there doing nothing half the time. Much easier. It can't have been just that. Had to have been something else, but yeah, that battle went very easily. So we're turning this tap here, which drains all the water out of here, and you can actually watch it drain if you really want to. There we go. And so, what level is my character? Level 3. Not to level 4 yet. Okay, our annoying adversaries down here, the lesser black ooze. No normal black ooze or greater black ooze yet, hopefully. So as long as we mob these guys, they should be fairly easy to take on. Individually, per hit, they do a lot of damage, but they don't get many hits, thankfully. And we're done. And then we come over here. And we get the key. Once that key opens this door here. Which just lets us go down to the final level. Individually, those shadows are easy. In a large group, though, because they can teleport and get in amongst my guys, they can be a bit more of a problem. Actually, no, this is still the last level. There's not another level down. It's just this last little bit of this level. You sort of, I feel like it's another level because you go down this little set of stairs here. And this is an annoying little bit of battle too. Oh, didn't mean to have fast mode on because we're getting flanked by oozes. So what we're going to do here is we're going to be a little bit more strategic. Those two are going to attack that one. Those two are going to attack that one. You're going to attack that one. And you are going to attack that one. And then all of my guys here are going to attack one at a time. Why are you attacking. Why are you just standing there? Can you do that one? Sort of. Sometimes
Yeah.
I really think using these crossbows is a bit of a pain in the butt.
Ha! Got him!
There we go. Okay, really briefly take off the shadow. There we go. Now let's go back over here. Okay. Tactics need a little bit of work sometimes. I don't always... Everyone doesn't necessarily go the way you want them to. You know, flanking properly and all that type of stuff. You've got to micromanage a little bit at times. You've got to do that more. Rely on the AI a little bit less. Okay. Thankfully, there's no baddies in this room. We are basically almost done with all of the bad guys. We're going to turn on scouting mode because there's a hidden thing over here that we want to uncover. There we go. So let's pick up all of this stuff. Potions there.
I suppose it can't be helped.
Like that. So, that flail we're going to use. Someone's going to use that. In fact, it'll probably be me at this point, the main character that is. Okay. So, speak to the spirit of this guy, and he's basically just going over the fact that, you know, they were... how they were killed and everything. I don't remember all the details, but you basically gather up their bones, and we'll go back to the guy that we met at the start and give them to him and tell him that he's an idiot. Right. So let's switch to that. So if we compare this, it does less damage, but it's fine. So it has +4 accuracy and plus 15% damage, and 30% of grazes are converted to hits. So I think... Whoops, didn't mean to... I think we are going to take that weapon for now. Later on when there's either an enchanted saber or longsword or something, we're going to take it. But for now, and then you can take the saber. And no one needs to take the axe. We all got good enough shields. Yep, we do. There's no armor that we can take. And does anyone already have a bottle of that? Yep. And you can take those two. We're all good. So that's that level almost done. Just this tiny little area here where we go back up. And there are some scolders here. I'm going to sneak so that we can hopefully get a little bit closer to these guys without being seen. Or at least get into our normal party arrangement. So let's pause, turn off that. I do that, by the way. I pause. I must remember to do it more, but pause and then get out of stealth mode so that you're all out of stealth. Because if you don't and you then attack, these guys are going to slowly creep forward because they're still in stealth mode and they're not going to get to these guys very quickly. Whereas I want them now to charge forward. I'm going to basically tell everyone to charge and attack the Scolder King. So that's what these 6 guys are going to try and do. But then I'm going to give all of my actual rangers the instructions to use their wounding shot on the king as well. And we're going to try and take him down very, very quickly. So that's 5. We hit with 5 of the 6. So that's 5. Yeah, 5 wounded shot, all applying damage over time. Whoa. Couple of them got stunned from the whelps. Oh, are you using... You're still using melee weapons. Which means you've got a wounding shot that you can use yet. There we go, he's dead. Let's just clean up these other guys nice and quick. And we're done, and that was fairly easy. Like I've said before, if this was the normal party of companions, that would have gone much worse. It would have been a much harder fight. Okay, this is a wonderful little helm because it gives you +1 resolve and +1 perception. What does that mean? +1 to accuracy and +1 to defense. Or deflection, as it's called. Defense. Okay, back up to the previous level, and let's head out. I don't think I'm even going to bother with these. So, as soon as you step over this, oh, down comes that. Now you can interact with that, but it's nothing, so I'm not even going to bother doing it. If you snuff out the candles, and you've got Adair as one of your companions, he complains that you basically desecrate the temple by doing that. But, you know, we're not doing that.
Good day to you.
Okay, so he lied to us. You and I both know what I saw down there and what they told you. How could you betray them? They trusted you. What happened? Diplomatic. Benevolent, you can make amends, bury the bones, try and leave a good life. And there we go, he takes the bones from us, and we get all that experience. And like, yeah, we're not too far off the next level. Which is good, because that gives them all vicious aim. So we can do lots more damage. Let's go and sell up all this stuff that we found. Map's being funny again. There we go. Let's drop this down so it's out of the way again.
Gods keep you. Good day to you.
Right, so I'm happy to sell all of that and that. Get rid of these traps. And sell up all of these papers and books and stuff. And get a tidy little sum for some of these. And we've found a pry bar like we talked about previously. So we're doing good. So let's trade all of that. Now, enchantments. We We can do intellect. Can't do any proofing. Can't do any of that. Did I get... No, I'm still level 3. And on our weapons, we don't have any of the stuff to do any of these yet. I don't think we can add enchantments to any of that sort of stuff. Just whatever's there is what's already there and you can't add to it. Can we do anything to the shield? No. I think we can add the 2 enchantments to this, but it's already using 4 enchantments on there. Because it's fine. And it's got draining, which you can't add normally, but we could add like a burning lash and other things like that to it. We could even upgrade it to superb. But I don't know that I will do anything like that. Okay. So we've basically done everything we can here. We're going to... in Gilded Vale, that is, because we took a little bit of damage there, it's worthwhile coming over here and resting, and then we will head south to whatever the name of that place is. Magrin's Cross, is it? Something like that. So, let's rest.
Welcome.
I'd like a room, please. Another one of those, thank you. And let's head back out. Okay, Magrin's Fork. So we can see what's going on. The wee wolfy beast. Man, that wolf got hit a lot. Greatsword. Actually not all that great, the greatswords, ironically. So I won't be using them. Mostly because they're very slow. While they do the same amount of damage as the Estoc, they don't have that damage reduction bypass, so overall the Estoc is just vastly superior. Because against armoured opponents, it's okay against something that has very low armour. Natural armour ratings. Oh, armour is different in in Pillars of Eternity 2, armor is different to what it is here. I don't know the full details, so I'm not going to try and explain the difference, but it's not a damage bypass so much as a piercing protection. And each weapon has a piercing amount, so some weapons are better against some types of armor because of the amount that they do in piercing. Or penetration. It's penetration, not piercing. So weapons have penetration values, and armors have penetration protection values. So I think it sort of makes some weapons better than they were and other weapons worse than they were in Pillars of Eternity 1, the new armor system. That's really only two changes that were made that I am aware of between Pillars of Eternity 1 and 2, is the health system and the way armor works. I'm going to try being stealthy here, but it doesn't work very well. She detects you very easily. Didn't do too bad, actually, sneaking up that amount. Attack. Everyone attack. And then you are going to do that, and you are going to do that, and you are going to do that, and you, and you, and you. Because she's a spellcaster, and we want her to die as quickly as possible. And there we go, she's dead. Now, two gold pack paladins. I always say paladin rather than paladin if I'm not thinking about it. I don't know why, but I do. Won't let me. This could be bad. Yay. 8 damage reduced steel. Damage bypassed steel. You attack you, you attack you. Everyone attack him. There we go. Worked out much better than expected. Where was the other person who had switched weapons? There we go. And we're all good. Just pick up all of this stuff. Get a nice little haul there. Nothing super great. It's not worthwhile taking this large shield because the deflection isn't much better than the medium shield, but the accuracy penalty is much higher. As I said, if I could get all these guys to use small rather than medium shields, if they had fine small shields, I would use them, and I will as they become available. But initially, no, I want as much damage protection, as much deflection as possible. Okay, so come up here to the old ruined tower, in which there is one or more wisps. Here we go. Just the one wisp, I can remember. And yeah, man, we wiped that out quick. Because it has no damage reduction, at least not against piercing. So we all did maximum damage. Grizzly, Dire, and Cave all hit it. We didn't do crits, but we certainly did well. Okay. Let's pick up that. Now there is is that on the wall there, and where is it? That on the wall there. Let's go in here, let's pick that up off the wall there, and then let's head into the room. I'm not sure, I think that's supposed to have been an old lighthouse actually. Although it doesn't look like it's all that close to the sea. Really just coming up here so that we can get rid of the fog of war. And cover as much of the map as possible. There's no bonus to it, but I like to do it anyway. Okay, so come up this way, and it's Wolfie time. Is he flanked? No, he's not. Maybe not. There we go. Here we go, that's that one down. Let's do this one next. Flank him pretty damn quick. Yeah, he should be flanked. There we go, he is. And the last one. So as you can see, as long as I don't have opponents that are able to teleport around the field, a lot of the time my bears are able to keep the opponents well away, which is good. Got that. This guy here, we're going to turn around and do that. And then talk to him. And did you hear something? Oh, you mean that wolf? No, I don't know what you're talking about. That very dead wolf. And then we talk to him again, and he gives us some potions. Yeah, minor endurance. That's a better potion than the regeneration one, because it gives it to you straight away. And he walks away. All good. So we've done our outer circle, which is sort of the way that I tend to do things, and then we'll do an inner circle here like this. This is actually an interesting little fight, this next one, because there's a bunch of ballers here, but they're around this group of trees, which sort of makes it hard to get to them. And strangely, they can be a little bit of a problem. I think we just have enough to go up a level. had played with boars as my animal companions for all of these guys, it'd be just squeals all day long. Listen to those squeals. Must try that one time and see what happens. Okay, all these guys get their levels. Great. Athletics and law for you. Oh, hang on. No law. I don't have enough to give you any in mechanics. Let you take that law. We'll put mechanics up next level. Vicious aim. Done. Athletics and law. Vicious aim. Athletics and law. Vicious aim. Whoops, that's the other thing I should do.
Yeah?
Make sure it's turned on.
Yeah?
Athletics and law. Vicious aim. Done.
Yeah.
And there we go, we've all got our vicious aim turned on. And we're good. Clear out the rest of this area. Tiny little grey line over there, let's get rid of that. It's hardly worth doing, but, you know. Okay. I really hope you can't hear my puppy snoring in the background there, but you probably can. Right, so by the way, we've basically uncovered all the bad guys on this map.
Saw you in the flames.
Now it's time to talk to Durance. Durant, however you want to pronounce it.
Come to the other. I swear before the whore that is Margaret, no harm will come to you in her shadow. The world
It's a very
hold, but
weird
if I
guy,
give
this guy.
offense, I didn't. It's what's. If you need a title to. I am a. We're meant to. There's things I don't force. Many will. Disease. As for.
And we're done. Okay, now there's a secret right there, so let's see if we can uncover it. There we go. Perfect.
Interesting.
And now we've got basically improved movement rate. Actually, I don't think we really ever need to use that. This is another one of those narcotic leaves that we won't ever use, so we'll be selling both of those when we get back to town. Okay, speaking of going back to town, we're not going to. We're going to go over here. Because this is where the merchant's caravan got ambushed. We're going to find that stuff so that we can take it back to him. In Black Meadow. And this time, rather than going counterclockwise, we're going to go clockwise. Mostly because we've got an opponent right here. In the form of a troll. Where is he? There he is, forest troll. Actually, I think there's two of them, if I remember rightly. So we are going to use wounding shot, or whatever it's called. Yes, wounding shot.
So much for you!
On. Why have you not used a shot? Oh, I have. You only use it again. No, don't use it again. So we killed that first one very easily. Now, let's do the second one. And nice and easy. Okay. Didn't realise I was still in fast mode. So, come up around here, and this is where the caravan was attacked. Now, this guy's a thief. Dual wields daggers, teleports around by sort of disappearing and stuff. This guy here is the leader. He's fairly tough. There's another guy around here somewhere who's a spellcaster, or sort of, I think he might even be a cipher or something. He's a little bit different, but he can cast some spells. Maybe he's a chanter, I don't know. But ultimately, we want to take these guys out as quickly as we can. So that bandit there and that scavenger there. This one here might be the spellcaster, actually. Oh no, he's an archer. This one here, maybe he's a cipher? Because I've seen him do sort of magically. Look at this. Don't know what that ability is that he just did. Does it tell you? Tanglefoot. Okay, maybe he's got a scroll. There we go. Maybe he's a druid. That might be it. That'll be it. He's a druid. And we're done. Okay. And then we've got that. And we've got that. And we've got that. Okay. What did we get in the way of these? Nothing really. Lots of daggers. Some hide armor, some leather armor, some hoods. More beers. So you can take that. And you can take that. So I'm going to just come down this one, just clear out this bit down towards the road here. Another forest troll. Why why are these guys not attacking? Get in there, guys. What about you? Why are you not attacking? Can you not come around this way? A damn tree in the way, and all you can do is go, I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
So much for you.
Okay. Ooh, and I got a level. There we go. Put another point into stealth. And law. Do athletics later. Although if I did that, no, I can't do that. Fine. Now, here's the dilemma. I don't really want to take this. These all just help my companion. Am I better off picking something else? Merciless Companion, meaning they do an extra 30% damage, would be good because they were already doing, they got increased accuracy and damage, 15%, so that's another 30, which should mean, depends if it's cumulative or not, but it should be about 45% extra damage. Increasing their damage reduction by 3 means they take 3 less damage every time they're hit. That means they're going to last longer. That's good too. And I use my animal companion for a lot. But if I was to do something like take this, I could get some accuracy bonuses with certain weapons. And I would probably take either this one for Peasant, which gives me the hunting bow, or Ruffian, which gives me Saber, Pistol and Blunderbuss, and I could switch from being a bow to a pistol and blunderbuss when I get them. Or there's Marksman, which increases my accuracy against distant enemies, which is always good. There's Gunner, which increases my load speed with firearms, which is not really all that worthwhile yet. Penetrating Shot, minus 20% to range attack speed, so I slow down, but I do 5 range DR bypass. That is pretty good too, but that's another modal, and I'm not sure if I can have both of those modals running at the same time. I'm pretty sure I can. And then of course there's always Arms Bearer, where I get an extra weapon slot, and Quick Switch. I really don't know. The defensive ones aren't all that great, although I could take Weapon and Shield style. It gives me that bonus to deflection, and also makes my deflection help my reflex. I'm going to try Resilient Companion, because that is one of the biggest problems, is that your companion doesn't last. Yeah, in big fights, they're getting killed quickly. Not quickly, but you know, you want them to be around a little bit longer, and any sort of damage reduction is a good thing. So we're going to do that on all of those guys when they get next level as well. So we've uncovered all of that quarter of the map. So we're going to come over this way a little bit, and then we're going to head back up and do go around and do the next part. So up here. a look what's in there. Just a bunch of reagents. Now we have to be careful over here, because if you're not, you can end up fighting two groups of opponents at once. So there's these trolls here, but up over this way a little bit is some shambling mounds, or that's not what they're called, but that's sort of what they are. Just curious, we have the abilities of my dire bear here. Resilient Companion, +4 damage reduction. Vicious Companion, 3 damage reduction bypass. Doesn't actually tell me what his damage reduction overall is. Do you see that when you hover over him? Endurance 30. Anyway. Come on, guys. That's better. Flank him properly. Well done.
Death to our enemies!
How are we doing? Let's head over here. Carefully. Actually, let's do it this way. Okay. Where is he? Here we are. What's it called? Forest Lurker. It's a bit like a treant, a dumb treant, really, because it's supposed to just be a shambling mound of moss and vine and I don't know what. I don't know if you can actually see them in the... Yeah, we haven't. Until we kill it, we won't see it in there. We want to do our bypass, and we want to do our wounding shot on it. And there's 2 of them, so we've got to be careful. Which is why we want to take the first one down as quickly as possible. You get over there. There we go. You're stuck. That's why.
Got him!
Quick! Toss me something else!
These guys have got high... Oh no, I've just been rolling bad rolls. They don't have that high deflection at all. Maybe they've got high damage reduction to pierce? Let's have a look. Yeah. They've got 16 damage reduction against piercing. That's what the DR colon 16 at the end is. So you always do the minimum amount of damage, and the minimum amount is like, I don't know, 5% or something like that. There's a lot of percentages in this game. A a lot. Which is why I tend to try and raise attributes that don't work on percentages, like perception and that work, that give you individual points to accuracy and deflection, whereas, you know, might gives you 5% per point, or 3% or whatever it is, to your damage. That's nice, but 3% of, you know, even if you can get that up to 30% by adding 10 points to strength, that's okay, but actual, you know, point values to things like accuracy and deflection are good. So that's why I do those. The game is obviously designed in a particular way as well. You wouldn't do, if you did percentage, because your accuracy and deflection goes up every level, you get 3 points added to them every level, I think it is. If it was a percentage-based thing, by just adding a few points to perception and resolution, or resolve, the percentages would very quickly add up, because those base figures that they work with go up every level. Another forest troll. Okay. We're all in position. Let's go. And yeah, easy. D-E-D, dead. That's how we do it. Okay. No, we want to all come down here. Thank you very much. So we can pick that flower. Okay, there's a bunch of enemies over this way. So we're going to just do that. Actually, let's come back over here for a second. Where's the nearest? Is it over here? Can we not go? Right there. There we go. So we can go to Cadnu at some point soon. Okay, there's some bad beasties along here. Wicts. The stories behind these guys are interesting when you read up on it. So these are Hollowborn children that they took the souls of animals and put into, which seemed initially to be some sort of fix for the children. They did seem to act a little bit like children for the first couple of years, and then as they started to get a little bit older, they became very wild and feral, and they ran away. They went to live in the wild and basically attack people. Done, very good. Let's come over to here. Right. These boots aren't great, but they're good enough for now that I'm going to use them. So they give Constitution +1, so that'll give me a little bit more health. There we go, 72 to 76 and 360 to 378. Is there anything else that I could farm out to people? No, not really. As I said before, I am tempted to go to lighter, either light armor completely, but I just don't think it's worth it. A little bit of extra attack speed when it means that, you know, anything that gets past the front line is going to just shred you up. Because you have basically 0 damage reduction. Okay, so there's a bunch of spiders over here. But they will be easy pickings. As I said, easy pickings. Where are we? Let's head directly up from here to clear out. Oh, meant to do that. Clear out this area. I don't think there's any opponents here, but that just clears out the centre part of this map. Oh, that's right. There was one more forest troll that I forgot about. Good job, guys. They flanked him very well that time. There's one more little spot over here. Right. So let's come to this bit over here. I think there's any more opponents down this way. Oh, hang on, there might be just over here. No? Okay. We've been down there, haven't we? To unlock that? Yes, we have. Okay. Yeah. There we go. The fine warbow, which I'm going to take for now. But as I said, I wouldn't mind getting a final, better hunting bow and using that just for the extra speed, even though it doesn't do a huge amount of damage. But for now, you know, my character's going to be the one that does the good stuff. You always give it to yourself first, unless there's a reason not to. There's nothing else to find right there. Circle this way. I don't think there was much else to find along this part. Oh, hang on, there's a group of those wicks up here as well. There we go. One down. Two down. So this one, because he's getting a bit close. Last one. There we go. Oops. Okay, so we've now done Magrin's Fork and Black Shadow. I didn't uncover Ansel's compass. So what I'm gonna do, really briefly, is travel back to Magrin's Fork. Come down here. Oh, we've got another herb we can pick. I'm going to stop the stream here and take a break for a little bit, and I'll probably be back in a little while. But thank you very much for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Remember, these videos are posted up on YouTube, so if you see them there, give them a like, and thanks for watching. Bye.